that's true for sure. But right now, it's also your stop for some great interviews that we host here throughout the day at pennspeakradio.com, whether it's a talent that's coming to our own venue or some lovely lady who happens to be out there doing some music. We're so excited, honored, and pleased to have on board Miss Mary Sarah. Hey, Mary, how are you?
I am wonderful. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm excited to have you on. I have lots of questions for you, but I also know you're a little limited on time. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go right ahead and jump into it. But now, just in case people are not sure who you are or maybe don't watch The Voice or, whatever, can you do us a favor and just kind of give us a little background? You have such an interesting background of starting so young and how those types of events brought you up to being on The Voice and being on, Team Blake and then getting to where you are. But I think a little progression explanation would be great for my listening audience. If you could do that, that'd be awesome.
Of course. So you're right. I kind of started, not a lot of people, especially like the ones that tuned into just The Voice, know that I started at a pretty young age. I actually started singing around the age of 10 years old. And then professionally at 12 years old, I was actually on tour. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Kids Bop CDs, but I was on the Kids Bop tour when I was 12. And so my mom and I traveled about 6 months around the East Coast and Midwest. And that was kind of like my first professional gig at 12. And ever since, so that happened. And then I ended up recording an album, my first ever album called Crazy Good, at 14. And then at 15, I recorded a project called Bridges. And that's actually an amazing project. I got to sing with some amazing legends in country music, including Dolly Parton, Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard, the Oak Ridge Boys, Vince Gill, you name it. And so I did that project. I finished that when I was about 18 years old, and then ended up at 20 going on to The Voice and, making it on Team Blake and ending up hitting top 5 on season 10. So that's kind of a summary, I guess, of my life.
That's pretty awesome, though. So let me ask you this question. You were already doing pretty good and had some projects out there and getting some recognition. Why did you decide to go on a show like The Voice, and how did you end up picking that one?
Yeah, well, I honestly, so as far as picking that one, I had friends who had gone on there before, and some that made it really far, some that made it, just in the beginning and stuff like that. And I had never really heard anything negative about the whole process there, and that honestly it was more of a positivity and positive process for these artists and my friends. And so if it was going to be any show, that was the one that I kind of heard just really great things and never heard negative things about. But as far as choosing that, you're right. I did, did have a lot going on. But, around 20, I moved to Nashville when I was 17. And I had been writing, and I'd work on the Bridges project, and I finished that when I was 18. So really, I was just kind of touring a little bit and then writing a whole lot in Nashville. And it was kind of in a time where there wasn't really a lot going on. And for me, I always imagined going on the show. It's really weird. Ever since the beginning of season 1, watching it, for some reason, odd reason, I just saw myself on that show and knew that I'd probably do it one day. I don't know why, but it was just a feeling that I had when I watched it. And for me, I've been taught to really take wisdom from those who have, been there, done that, and bought the T-shirt. And so with the Legends project that I did, Bridges, I was learning from those who had been there and done that, and getting advice from them. So I kind of wanted to continue that. And with The Voice, I saw it as, Blake Shelton is more of a, relevant now in country music. And for me, it was more of an opportunity to learn and grow as an artist, and also, gain more fans and be able to, open doors to more touring and meeting those fans and things like that. So it's really just, I look at it as a part of my journey, too. I don't really, some people look at it as their last attempt at music, or, they do it really young, but for me it was you know what, this is just going to be something I look back years from now and go, do you remember that time I was on The Voice?
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So it was just definitely a journey thing. So.
Well, and of course it helped set a precedence and get you out there more in front of the public as a national television show.
Oh, for sure.
They say that it does slingshot artists. Do you feel that being on the show was something that really, really helped increase what you were doing, even though you were kind of already on the path, but did it actually kind of give you that big boost that everybody talks about?
Oh, incredibly, it did. It was such a positive thing for me. I mean, the year after getting done, like literally the week after, I did my Opry debut, and I've done the Opry 5 times since, and like it just opened so many doors as far as touring and doing shows that I wouldn't normally book before I did the show, and it shined light a little bit more and gave me, I guess, more like credibility and stuff that I'm like a real artist, I don't know, but it just kind of gave me that kind of like verified Twitter check mark, like that type of thing where it was like, she's, for sure the real deal type thing. And so it did. It opened a lot of doors to touring and like the Grand Ole Opry and things like that. It really has, it's done a whole lot for my life. And I'm honestly so thankful that I did it.
Well, that's awesome. And, I got to say, when people who are in your position and, you're getting out there and you're getting some of those recognitions and stuff, I think one of the things that I admire the most about artists is when they find time, even though I know you guys are crazy and busy and you're getting pulled in 50,000 different directions, you find time to give back a little bit. And a couple of things that I've noticed and I've read about is, how your patriotism of singing the national anthem. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know what? And for me, the national anthem is something I feel it's kind of just, for me, I feel like it's a part of my job, and we're paying respect to the country we live in, and I'm paying respect to those who fight for our freedom, and I can't even do what I do every day without them. And so for me, it's definitely just a part of what I want to do for the rest of my life, because it's just paying respect to those who have fought for us. And so I always try to just continue to keep doing it and make it really a part of just what I do. It's not, I don't get nervous either anymore, because I used to, but I had a vocal coach tell me to really research the national anthem and where it came from. And I did. I went back and researched it, and it tells a story. And it's just like any other song, except for it represents our country and our freedom. And so it's something that I've always wanted to keep a part of what I do, and I'm continuing to do, and I think I'll forever do it.
Well, that's pretty cool. And like I said, I admire people who, really support that and, kind of give back in a way and are able to do it with your talent. Everybody can step up and help in one way, shape, or form.
It's the least I can do, honestly.
And, yeah, for you to share your talents and do that and, just kind of give everybody a moment where they need to reflect. And God, in today's society, hell, I think we need a whole lot more reflecting going on, I have to say.
I think, a lot of coming together, and I think that song truly is something that brings us as Americans together. That's what it was meant for, and that and God Bless America. I start my sets off with God Bless America every single time, just because I think it's a song that was made for unity and to bring us together as Americans, and I think, it's something that needs to be done, especially like you said, in the society and the world we live in now. There's so much diversity and challenges and things like that. And I think just people need to be reminded that, we came from this place of unity and we need to get back to that place.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So, that with that kind of thing being said on the patriotic side of things, but I can honestly think, I'm reading a little something else here that it kind of has perked my interest a little bit. It sounds like you're a big part of helping out with something that's an issue that you can't necessarily control, which is Caden's Hope. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what this is all about and how people can maybe reach out and help out as well?
Of course. So I was actually a friend of mine. We went to a show with the Oak Ridge Boys maybe about 5-6 years ago. And Caden's Hope, the founder of Caden's Hope, Wayne Keller, was at the show and didn't know who I was or anything like that. And I ended up singing on the show with the Oak Ridge Boys that night. And for some odd reason, they came up to me afterwards and they were like, "We want you to be our spokesperson. We want you to be the national ambassador of Caden's Hope." And what Caden's Hope is a foundation that helps out in any way with families who have babies in the NICU, the NICU, so babies that are born premature. And what they do is, provide either hotel, gas money, medical bills, things like that, anything that they can really do to help these families, because a lot of people don't know that when a baby is born premature, not every hospital has the necessities to take care of those babies. So those babies are actually sent to hospitals even farther away from the families, and some are single moms, and they face these challenges of even getting to see their babies. And so we just try to help out in any way we can. And the crazy thing is, when Wayne came up to me to ask me that, I looked at him and I said, do you know that my brother was born at 1.5 pounds? And my mom was a single mom taking care of him, and he had no clue. And I think it was such like a God thing to me, because I was like, this is crazy that he comes up to me and he goes, you need to be the national ambassador. We don't really know who you are, but we have this feeling that you really need to. And it turns out like I have such a personal story and connection to Caden's Hope. And so that's what we do. And so for those of you, if you want to help out, you can go to cadenshope.org. Caden is CAIDEN hope.org. And you can get all the information there.
Oh, that's awesome. I have an employee here whose sister recently just had a premature baby, and she was in the NICU for a couple of weeks, and it was tough. It was a tough time to you go through all that, and you have a baby, and then you have to leave it there. I mean, that has to be heartbreaking, and those people definitely need some support to help them understand that it's gonna be okay. But you just got to give it a little bit more time. And for a mom who's better to walk away from a hospital and leave their child behind, I mean, my goodness.
Definitely. I mean, with my mom, like I said, she was a single mom, and my brother being 1.5 pounds, he was born 28 years ago. And 28 years ago, it wasn't exactly highly likely that babies at that weight would survive. And
sure.
Even the tough part was that, like, family at the time, it was hard for them to even want to come to the hospital and connect with the baby, because they didn't know. They didn't know whether or not, and they didn't want to have that, like, really crazy connection and then all of a sudden, lose the child. And so, it was a tough time for my mom, and just knowing that, and knowing that, like, families now go through those things, and but you're right, like, not being able to even hold your baby right after having your baby. I mean, that's just one thing too. It's like, and that might even take months of, being in the NICU before you even get to hold your child. And I just, it's just such a personal thing that connects with me and my family. And I think it's something that, not a lot of people shine light on. And so when I was approached to do this, there hasn't been a foundation to help with families who have babies in the NICU. And so, it was just perfect opportunity. So like I said, it was a total God thing for me.
Oh, that's wonderful, and it's just amazing that you did say you would do it, and I'm sure you go out. What exactly are you doing to help the association itself? I'm assuming you're speaking in places. What is it that they're asking you to all do to help get the word out about Caden's Hope?
So I do a lot of speaking things, but also a lot of the times with my shows, especially when I'm here in Texas, because the couple that started it, they're based out of Texas here. And what's crazy, actually, let me go back to The Voice. When I was on The Voice, I was working with Boot Barn at the time, and they knew that I supported Caden's Hope. And so actually they donated, when I made it to top 11, they donated $11,000 to the foundation. And then, so I put it a part of my shows as much as I can. So if we have like Caden's Hope t-shirts to sell, all those funds go to Caden's Hope. We do fundraisers here and there, just things like that. I mean, just anything that, they come up with that they're like, we need you to sign a guitar so we can auction it off, or just really like any ideas that they come up with, I am like wholeheartedly in. So we try to make it a part of what I do, all the time, really.
That's really, really cool. Hey, listen, I want to shift gears just a little bit. Real quick, though, I did notice that you do have a donate button on your website for Caden's Hope. And then do you want to just give that website out one more time before we shift gears if people are interested in lending a helping hand?
Yeah, so you can go to marysarah.com, and there is a donate button on there. And then you can also go to cadenshope.org. So.
Okay. And that's CAIDEN hope.org. Awesome. Mm-hmm. All right. We're going to have to hit the bottom of the ID here real quick. If you could hold on for just a few minutes. When we come back, we do want to get into you and your music a little bit more and talk about this brand new song you have out there. Can you hang on there a little bit?
Of course I can. I'll be right here.
All right, don't go anywhere. We're going to have more with Mary Sarah, and she's got some new music out there that we're going to also play. Find out more about her and her connectivity to her audience and things along that line in just a bit. Don't go anywhere. More with Penn's Peak Radio right after this. That's right, and we're back with Mary Sarah, and we've been talking a little bit about how she kind of came into her own here and some of the things that she's been involved with over the years. But let's move a little bit forward now in time here, and so tell us about this new project you have out there and this new music you've got going on. So excited to get that announced out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I feel like it was a long time coming, especially, a lot of people wanted new music since The Voice, and so I had been working my butt off since, leaving the show and writing and really diving into more personal things on, my life and connecting with my fans and things that I'd really think that they could, connect with. And so this new song called Without You, I released actually on my birthday.
Yay!
July 7th this year.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. My lucky number is 7, obviously, because it's 7-7, and then it was 2017 this year, so I really wanted to do it on my birthday. It was more like it was a birthday gift to me, but also to my fans, And this song, for me, it stemmed out of actually a relationship I was in, and it was about a 3-year-long relationship. It was long distance, and with long-distance relationships, a lot of people know it's really tough, and the one thing that you have to have is communication. And the thing is I found myself in that relationship that I was giving more than the actual other person. And with that, I started to lose myself and who I was and things like that. And so, that relationship came to an end. And it was in a time of my life that, I had a whole lot of stuff going on in my career. So we broke up, and the next day I thought to myself, do I sit here and I cry about this and think about all the things that, we're not going to have anymore and, almost like more in the relationship? Or do I focus on my career and do I move in a positive direction of finding myself again? And you know what? A lot of people, they don't really take time to find the perspective on that. But, getting to find yourself again isn't such a bad thing. It actually is really exciting if you just, choose to accept it. And for me, I started, going to the movies by myself. I still paint by myself all the time. That's my thing. I go to ceramic shops. I'll find ceramic shops. Even when I'm on tour, I'll find them in the locations that I'm at, and I'll go paint for the night by myself. And just finding myself again and what I love to do and things like that. And so this song, it was more. I didn't want it to be a breakup song, I hate you, this breakup, and blah 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 blah. That type of thing. I really wanted it to just kind of say, I had an understanding of where he was at. And I didn't hate him for it, I really didn't. And I realized that, what, I'm okay without him now.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. And so I didn't really want it to be I hate you for not being there for me, but that I'm okay and I'm doing great and I'm, moving in a positive direction and choosing to do that and choosing because, we all have the choice to make, whether or not we want to be happy and choose happiness and choose how we react to things. And for me, I chose to react in a positive way, and I wanted, my fans to see that you can do that, And I know breakups are hard, and yes, it's great to, dwell in that a little bit and, shed some tears and let it out, but also don't let that overwhelm you and take over you,
Right.
So it was more about moving forward and that I'm okay without you, and so that's how Without You came about.
That's awesome. Now, you wrote this song. This is your pen work?
Yes, I wrote this song with 3 great writers, so David Garcia, Bart Butler, and Mike Walker, all writers based out of Nashville. And writing with them was incredible. I mean, because we took this idea and just I told them, how I really wanted it to be more of a positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
That it's okay and it's we're moving forward in life and you're okay without that person and so they helped me to really capture that sound of what we wanted and. So I'm very thankful for them.
Awesome. All right. Well, listen, I'll tell you what, if you want to hang on for just a minute, we're going to play that song and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit how people can connect with you and a little bit more about how they can find you if you're willing to hang on for your song here.
Mm-hmm. Of course. I hope you guys like it.
All right. Well, why don't you go ahead and announce your song and we'll get it out there.
All right. Hey, guys, this is Mary Sarah, and it's my new single, Without You.
That's a great, great, great song. I love it.
Did you like it?
I did. I love the fact that you kind of kept it a little simple, but it kind of had a neat little beat to it. I loved it. It was great.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
That is awesome. I think that the way you did that was perfect. I really do. I do have one question though for you. Does the person you're singing about know that you did that, wrote a song and put it out there about your relationship?
Yeah. Honestly, I have no clue, but I have a feeling he does since we had such a long-term relationship. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So,
Wow.
no, I don't know.
He'll be hitting you up for royalties next week.
Pick up on it. I know, right? That would be hilarious. I'll let you know.
Well, don't give him any. Anyway, yeah, so I like it. Now, okay, so tell me, is there, obviously this is the one that you're out there, this is your single, but is there a full album in the process here? Is there something, that you're working on to do a full album with this on it?
Yeah, so yes, there are works in right now to do that. There's a lot of great music, and we're kind of really deciphering really what I want on the record and what songs, and I'm still continuing to write because I really want to make sure, with releasing music like this one, it connected with me so much, and I think that is just what an artist is about, being able to release music that really connects with you as an artist. So when you go up on stage to perform these songs, they really mean something to you. And so I'm continuing to work on it, and I'm hoping by 2018 that either we might release another single before we release the whole project, or we might be able to release the whole project. So, but there's other news, too, coming up. If, you're watching my socials, you'll see December 1st, there's a pretty big announcement coming up. So if you're not on my socials yet, make sure you get on there to see the announcements on November 1st.
All right. Well, that was going to be one of my next questions. How can people find you to be in tune with the wink, wink, nudge, nudge that's coming up?
It is it's all of my socials, so like Twitter, Instagram. Those are Mary Sarah Music, MarySarah, Sarah with an S, music. And then if you want to just find me on iTunes, anything like that, it's just Mary Sarah. And then if you want to check out my website, find a little merchandise, videos, things like that, it's marysarah.com.
Awesome. Now, are you the person who also has the opportunity to respond when people are checking in, or do you have a staff that helps you with that?
I do have people that help me with it, but I really love being able to respond to people. So, like on Twitter, I'm always watching to see, and I respond as much as possible. I can't always be all on my phone all the time, but, I always make sure during the week that I check up on it and am responding, because I really think it's just something, again, like that, as an artist, to connect with your fans, Mm-hmm. And so, yes, it is me responding to fans. So
awesome.
But there's other things that I have teams helping out with, at least, because actually social media these days is kind of like a full-time job. So
yes,
I'm very thankful for them.
Yes, it can be. Trust me, I am well aware.
Yeah.
It really can, especially once you start getting on more than one. You got all of the other ones going on, and it can devour your time pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, and balancing it out, and making sure you post all over on them and everything. It's a full-time job, but I love it though. I have a love-hate relationship because I don't like spending that much time on my phone, but I also love being able to connect with my fans.
So speaking of the connectivity with your fans, are you getting? I mean, I know it's not been out very long, but are you getting people responding to the song and finding that connection?
I am. What's crazy too is during my live shows, I'll play the song and people will be videoing, and they'll, yell out during the middle of the song because they connect with it so much. And just I think they really see, being independent is such an awesome thing. And that's kind of what I talk about, during my shows before I sing the song is just, finding your independence again is such a beautiful thing, and being a strong woman and moving forward, even a strong man, moving forward through those hardships and stuff. And so I get a lot of fans that come up to me afterwards, and they're like, oh my gosh, that song, that's your single, that's incredible. And so I've had a lot of people video it just so they could send it to their friends that are going through it,
Aww.
So that's pretty cool too, that they, they're able to share it with their friends.
Well, that's all amazing stuff, and you know what? I'm so excited to have the opportunity to chat with you. I don't want to keep you too much longer because I know you're a busy girl, but so check this girl out, Mary Sarah, and that's MarySarah.com. She's on the social medias. Big announcement coming up on November 1st. Excited to check that out. And I know most of your touring has to do in Texas, but if you find yourself doing a little bit further band and feel like stopping up here in Pennsylvania, if you're nearby, hey, we'd always love to have you in the studios if you had the opportunity to swing on up. We're about an hour and a half from Philadelphia, FYI.
Okay. We will have to make it that way then. That'd be awesome. I would love to get to meet you.
Yeah, I mean, the doors to Penn Speak Radio are always open to all my artists, and we love it when they have the opportunity to swing by. So, just kind of keep that in mind. We'll give you a little play some more of your music and have a nice little chat. So, check this girl out when she's coming to your area. For those of you who are local, she's going to be in New York coming up on October 19th, in Philadelphia on October 20th, and then hopefully somewhere around in there she actually might be in our studios. That would be pretty cool. But check her out for sure. Find her on the social media. Support this girl. Give a listen to her music. Give her a little feedback if it means something to you. And is there anything else that you'd like to throw out to your fans before we cut you loose there, Mary?
Just that I am beyond thankful for each and every one of you who are listening and who support me. I cannot do what I do without you, so thank you guys so much. And Casey, thank you so much for having me on today.
All right, no problem. If you do me a favor, don't go anywhere, but we're going to have to say our goodbyes for a moment. We're going to take a quick break. Please, if you missed any of the interview or missed your song, make sure you're listening in on Sunday morning when the entire show re-airs and catch this lovely cutie pie here on the show and her music, and looking forward to getting her back on the show as soon as possible. Miss Mary Sarah, thank you so much for your time, girl.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.